Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. I am Rajarsi Dasa. Welcome to Hare Krishna today. On today's program, we're going to discuss this practice or the principle of surrendering to God and the alternative. In other words, there is an invitation from the Lord in Bhagavad Gita to surrender to Him. But just in case we decide that we are not going to do this, we are not going to surrender to God, what's the alternative? What are the options we have? Well, you could say that surrendering to God, that's voluntary. You could choose to surrender to God, or the alternative, you not surrender. That's within your power. Well, let us look at some things that are compulsory if you don't surrender to Him. Let us look at the results of not surrendering. When we don't surrender to God, then every action we perform in our life, it produces a reaction. And that's very real. There's no question about it. You analyze anyone, everyone in this world, and you scrutinizingly observe why they're in whatever situation they're in, and you would see, as you sow, so shall you reap. Yes. According to the activities we perform, we get a reaction. So that's just one of the result of not submitting to God. So you may say, well, if I submit to God, you mean my activities will not produce reaction or binding result? Quite right. Exactly. That's the point. Because Krishna says, when you surrender to me, aham tvam sarvapad, I will take away all sin. I'll take away all the reaction. Ma shuchaha. Don't worry, have no fear. Let's give an example of why or how this is so. Just like some people, they become a driver of someone's bus. Taxi? Yes. So you're driving someone's taxi and you have a salary. They'll give you so much money at the end of the day for your driving. But the bulk of the money, the owner of the bus, he's making all that money. So if something goes wrong with that bus, boss. That's not your headache. The owner, the boss, he takes care of that. Well, so too. In this world, if we surrender to God, He's the boss. He says, Aham Twam Sarvapa, I'll free you from all sin. But the alternative, if a bus driver thinks, I want to do my own business, I want to get my own bus. So if you go and you do your own thing, well, when there is breakdown, that's your headache, that's your business. Well, all the souls in this world, why we're here? Well, we're little gods, away from God. Yes, we've come to this world to be God, away from God. That's what's going on in this world. Everybody, king of their little kingdom. Yes. So when we do our own thing, we take the reaction. So Krishna's coming to this world is to teach us good sense. And when we study Bhagavad Gita, that's exactly what we learn. Krishna didn't come to preach to Arjuna and just pacify his mind, just fight or not fight and remain in ignorance. It's not just a matter of fight or not fight. It's a matter of being enlightened about your constitutional position. Yes. Krishna didn't say, just fight. He gave reasons. And the reasons are actually very, very deep. The reasons goes back to that ancient science of the soul's relationship with the Supreme is told today by me to you because Bhakto Sime Sakacheti Rahasyam Hetat Uttamam. Because you're my devotee and friend, I'll reveal to you the mystery of the science, the eternal soul, and the relationship with the Supreme. So that fight, not fight, that's just an activity there. But the real information is knowing about the soul and the soul's relationship. Otherwise, why does Arjuna have to submit to Krishna? Arjuna could say, well, who are you anyway, Krishna? Why should I always think about you? Why should I offer things to you? Who are you anyway? So Krishna had to give detailed information about himself and about Arjuna and their relationship. But does it apply to Arjuna alone? No. Krishna says, Mamai Vangsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanata. All the souls in this world, not Arjuna alone. He says, all the souls in this world, Mama Eva Amsa. They belong to me. They are my fragmental parts and parcels. Aham bija pradapita. I am the seed-giving Father. But there's a problem right now. Manaha shastanendriyani prakritisthani karshati. Right now everyone's mind is messed up under the illusory energy, under the influence of Maya. Trivir guna mayir bhavairevhi sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mamedhya paramavya. Krishna says, the whole jagat, the whole world, mohitam, is under this delusion. And the result, nabhijanati, they don't know me, they're covered over by this ignorance, the spell of Maya. They don't know me. That's the result of being in Maya. So again, back to the point. We understand God and we turn to Him and surrender. He said, I free you from all sin. think about the opposite. If we don't turn to Him and surrender to Him, then every action produces a binding reaction in this world. But then also, that's not all. We become attached. When we don't understand that God is the object of whatever we do, when we do things, we do it for our own satisfaction. Not so? So when it is bad karma we perform, bad actions, the reactions come about and cause hell. Every bit of pain you give to living beings, you get it back. You deprive others of their possessions, then you have to be deprived. But if you perform some good activities with some good results, you become very attached. Oh, I accumulated this, I have that. I perform pious activities and I got so many good results. So you're proudly enjoying your good results. But can you remain enjoying the good results? The catch is that you become attached, and then death comes. If recession don't take it, then death is going to come and take it away. Mrityu sarvaharas chaham. Krishna says, I am all devouring death. I come as death and I take away everything. So what are the options we have? You surrender, and he says, Aham Twang Sarvapa, I'll free from all sin. Mahashucha, don't worry, don't fear. We don't surrender, and this is the result. Good activities, you become attached and you go through hell in the end, or you act in ignorance, you perform bad activities, and you suffer right away. You see hell right now. Yes. But being around in the material world without surrendering to Krishna, this is not all that you just dragged out and okay, death come and that's it, finish. No, that's not it. We're trapped. Anytime we don't turn to Krishna and surrender to Him, whatever we do, we're putting a noose around our neck. Or like the silkworm, weaving a cocoon around every thought, word, and action, other than those pleasing Krishna. We're weaving the cocoon around us. We're trapping ourselves to what? Repeated birth, disease, old age, and death. And mind you, it may not be in a human form. Just in the case you're contemplating that, well, this wasn't too bad. No. You will lose it. The human form is meant for knowing God and going back to God. Human form is not meant for living like animals, eat, sleep, mate, and defend. That we can do in all the other species. No big deal in human life. Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesh. The thing that distinguishes the human beings from the animal is dharma, that ability to know who is supplying the air I breathe, the water I drink, the food I eat. Who is maintaining my existence? If we don't understand how much we are dependent on that person, that if he turns off the air for 5 minutes, can the money, our savings in the bank, save us? No, it won't be able to. So if we don't understand our dependence on God, that's very dangerous business. We don't have any inclination and any impetus to surrender to Him just because we don't understand the implications. We think I could just go on a ride and everything will be okay. Well, Maya's taking us for a ride. Yes. We just go plunging down into the lower species, losing the human form. So the consequences of not surrendering to the Supreme Lord, it is one that is really dangerous. We have to live in this miserable world suffering the threefold miseries. Yes. These threefold miseries are the atmic suffering caused by our body and mind, are the bhautic klesha suffering caused by other living beings, are the daivic klesha miseries suffering caused by nature. When we turn to the Lord and surrender to Him, then we learn to tolerate and undergo all these miseries in His service, for His pleasure. But if we don't turn to Him and surrender, then when we encounter these miseries, it's hell. But when we try to counteract them, then we make a total mess again. So we don't really have much options. If we don't turn to the Lord, we don't take shelter of Him, then we don't have much options. We don't have much security. And our position is one that in the Skanda Purana is said, Vasudevam Parityagya, that one who gives up the shelter of Vasudeva, Krishna. And Yoanya Devam Upasati, and you take shelter of some other god. Because in this world, remember that we are always taking shelter of something or someone. Always. We're always taking shelter. We're not independent. We have to take shelter. Someone, something. So when we go about taking shelter of these different things, then we look for false sense of comfort and security away from God. And that's what Maya does. Maya designed this world with promises, just inducing us. You just have to endeavor a little more, a little harder. And we endeavor a little more. We need to produce a little bit more to make this world a nice place. Yes, we need to boost the economy. True? How long are you going to be around for? So you invest your whole lifetime in trying to set this place right, but did you think about it? That in a little while you're going to get kicked out. And where would you be? What have you set right, and where would you be? So, trying to set things right in this world is like someone falls into the ocean and they're drowning. And you decide, well, we're going to save him. Get some buckets. Let's bail out the ocean. Ridiculous. You can't bail out the ocean to save someone from drowning. You need to take him out. Well, trying to patch up and repair this world is like as ridiculous as trying to bail out the ocean. Why? Krishna makes this world as it is meant to be. Dukkhalaya, full of miseries. And you won't be able to rectify and make it different. Regardless of all your advancement in science and technology, you won't make it different. It was always like that. It's meant to be like that. And it will always be like that. The solution is not to waste the valuable human energy in trying to just patch things up here. But the valuable human form of life is meant to get out. Asatoma, Sadgama. This world is asa. It is temporary. And the endeavors to COVID, those who are intelligent and philosophically inclined, they should endeavor to get out. That's the solution. Getting out. If unfortunately we think that I have to invest more time and more energy in patching up things, Maya steals away our time and energy, and we run into debt. Dangerous situation. So, life in this material world, with all the miseries, is meant to teach us a lesson. But we don't get the point if we don't get the company of sadhus or saintly persons. We have to be in a proper state of consciousness to get the message. So sadhana, or spiritual practice, spiritual discipline, puts us in the right state of consciousness to get the message, to get the awakening, the revival of God consciousness. Spiritual practice, the association of saintly persons, the adopting of spiritual practices in our day-to-day life helps us to be able to see with proper vision. Krishna consciousness is a state of consciousness in which all problems are resolved and rectified. Yes, Srila Prabhupada said, all forms of incompletion is experienced due to incomplete understanding of the complete whole. Om Purnam Adaha Purnamidam. This world is made as a complete whole, a complete picture. Complete. Built in with miseries. That's part of the packet. But if we have a misunderstanding of the position of the miseries in this world, then tough luck. We'll go about fighting up. That's just like you go into the prison, you end up in prison, and then you're finding fault in the prison. Why this food is like this? Why this bed is so hard? Why this place doesn't have AC? Why this is so? We're in the wrong place. You need to get out of there. You're in the wrong place. That's not the place where you'll get your comfort. That's Vaikuntha, the place void of all anxiety, void of all suffering. And Krishna says, Tat Dham Paramam Mama, that is my supreme abode. And you don't get access there by building spacecraft and advancement in science and technology. No. You go that place, that spiritual world, by learning Sharanagati, the process of surrender. Krishna has a standard, a criteria. He has a qualification for souls being free and coming back to the spiritual world. There is no shortcut about it. There is no shortcut. There is no deception that you will deceive someone. You will cheat someone. You just get your way through and bypass the laws of the material nature. No. Krishna says, Daivihesha gunamai mama maya duratya. that my Maya, you're not going to surpass. You're not going to overcome this Maya. Mama Maya, Duratyaya. Very difficult to overcome. He didn't say impossible. Mameva ye prapadyanti, but by surrendering unto me, you can easily cross beyond this Maya. By the surrendering process. So, again, what's the alternative we have? We have a choice. Either to turn to the Lord and surrender to Him, and He promises that you will come back to me because you're very dear to me. Now, surrendering to the Lord, you can be happy in this life because you become free from vices, you get spiritual awakening, and you're happy in this life, and the promise is that you get eternal life. The alternative, we don't turn to God and surrender to Him. We practice rabbit philosophy and ostrich philosophy. Close our eyes and play we don't know what to do and what not to do, and play there is no problem. Practice rabbit and ostrich philosophy. Just do what we want, and in the end, we'll be harshly dragged out by the servants of Yamaraj and then plunged into another body again, to repeat the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, voluntarily we can surrender to God, or the kicks of Maya is compulsory. If we don't surrender, we're just going to be kicked by Maya again and again. Like a football on a field being kicked all over the field, souls are wandering all over the universe. One body to another, we can go on a journey. Yes. You can cruise in the body of a Voltaire. Yes. You have all these options. We can try them. So voluntary surrender or compulsory kicks from Maya. I'm Rajarsi Dasa Hare Krishna, and do join us again next week for another presentation.